Morning, Chaz. Just start off with, how are we this morning? This wet Monday morning?
Yeah, a bit better than last week. Obviously came in a couple of days after we had the fire. So we had obviously had the fire on Wednesday the 12th. I got a phone call about 10 o'clock at night from actually our women's captain, Bo, to say what the gate codes and stuff, so the firemen could get in. So I told them the gate codes, but they're already in. But anyway, I made my way straight here. Clive Harrison, our general manager, was here, and he drafted in Tom from the boys in the offices came in. So and we helped the firemen put the fire out. We didn't actually help the firemen put the fire out. That's wrong. We helped them get into places so they could put the fire out. When we eventually explained where all the switches were, they went and turned the switches off, and then the generator kicked in and started things going again. But we quickly turned that off by the stop button, which is always good, which was difficult to get to. But and then obviously our goal, the next morning we were in there thinking we need to get the game on. So last Saturday, everybody did everything they could to get that game on. We would have been stood under the lean-to, which is where it's assumed, the fire safety officer said the fire started, and that was here last week, and it was gone by Wednesday last week. Me and my boys took it down so we could expose all the wiring. So the guys at that point were still ripping wiring out. That was last Tuesday, and they've done an amazing job. The EX2 boys came in. They worked long days to do their best, and in fact they actually got all the electrics up and running by Friday, and a lot of the other stuff was on. Virtually everything was back on by Friday. But there's no way you could have said that was going to happen midweek, which is we would not have got that game on because we wouldn't have been able to do the testing that we would needed to have done to make it safe. Because ultimately, the football's important, but people's safety at the football is more important than anything. Everybody's safety at the football, and without all those safety, fire alarms, safety alarms for all sorts of stuff, CCTV, so we can make sure if anything happens. Putting a game of football on isn't just chucking 11 players out on the pitch. It's a huge amount of infrastructure, and it costs a huge amount of money to get that up and running just to get a game on here. So there was absolutely no choice but to call it off sort of the latter part of the week because we couldn't guarantee that we'd have everything running, and we were still got to do lots of testing of all the different systems, and there's still a few systems down as well. So it happened here.
Yep, we're still in the area.
Yeah,
it would look completely different to when I came in on Thursday morning, that's for sure. I think I came in and you and Ryan were taking down, as you said, the canopy that was over here.
The canopy that came down, and that exposed all the cabling under there. You got the control room on top with all that looks pretty unharmed because there was a roof there, and obviously the fire was concentrated in this area. This got really hot. Windows have been replaced in this building. The inside of the first aid is been completely stripped out, and that's been completely rewired. The wiring on the upstairs is good. All the wiring's been tidied up. The generator needed rewiring. All the tails inside, I think there's about 7 tails which came out with big cables. They all needed to be replaced because the fire managed to get in under the stand, and all the CCTV and and everything did its job. Otherwise this wouldn't have been here, because all the fire safety regs that were put in when this was put in, I dread to think what it would have been like in the old stand. We would have been looking at a load of charred mess. So we were really lucky it happened, 10 years later.
Absolutely.
So it's all been brilliant. The window guys, West Coast Windows, they came in. They measured up the windows on earlier in the week, and they fitted them on Friday. It did help that they weren't openers. If they'd been openers, that would have been different. You got Arc, the building firm who we do use a lot. They've come in. Several of the doors were damaged because they had to break an entry. There wasn't time to find the keys, and plus the fact it was smoke-filled rooms, and they were looking to. They went in the back of here, and then there's the kiosk. So the there was doors broken on these buildings to get into here. Quick access to get the make sure the fire was out, or at least we could see where the fire had got to. So that's all been done by Arc, and J&A Security have done all the fire alarms, and it's been amazing work by everybody. Everybody's given it their best shot, and we were close. We were very close, but we couldn't risk not testing it extensively, particularly as with a fire, you just don't know if there's a cable. It may look okay, but when it goes under load, if it failed during the game and we had to evacuate the stadium, then that would not have been the direction we wanted to go in.
No. As we can see, the cladding here has done its job as well. It's very battered by the fire.
It's very hot in here. You can see the damage, even the big steels we took out of here, and they were twisted and bent. I think we've got some photographs of that. So it got extremely hot here, and when you consider how hot it did get, how little damage it's actually done, all the fact that it was all done properly in the first place, saved it being far more damaging than it actually was. I know in the summer this is all going to come off, and they've got inspector steels underneath, mainly for corrosion, because if they got really hot, the paint will have come off, and so we need to check all the steel work. These cabins may have to be replaced. Because, as I say, they got really hot, and all the sealing mastic on them will have melted. So they potentially will start leaking if we are unable to seal them again. So they may have to be replaced in the summer. But we can get them going for now, and we can make them safe, and we can get the ball rolling and get football back on. Hopefully, it will be on for the Wickham game, the FA Cup Wickham game, which we hope everybody will come and support us.
Definitely.
And I'm sure everyone will be looking across here, but hopefully by then you'll hardly notice that there was a fire. That's the plan. It's been a bit of a days of a week last week where we all just mucked in. Everybody just mucked in and did what they could. Incredible, the contractors came in and worked well above the call of duty. And I know a lot of staff just came in and picked up a broom or picked up a brush or picked up stuff off the floor. And we're very lucky. Newbury Metals, me and my team took a couple of trailer loads down there, and they were ever so kind. They sorted through it all to maximise the amount of money we got for it all, to add to the fund. So there was a chunk of cash came back, and they say Newbury Metals were brilliant with us. They even stripped stuff out to make it more valuable, which was amazing. And just generally it was tough not to get that game on, and we were all really sad. But we all knew we gave it our best shot. We gave it everything we had, and it just wouldn't have been safe. And the right decision was made to call that game off early enough that everyone can make other plans. Mainly the opposition and the opposition's supporters, which are massively important to any football club. Everybody, I think we did everything as respectfully as we possibly could, but we gave it our best shot.
Absolutely.
In true Exeter fashion.
Shall we head up into the control room? Because I'm not sure many people have seen what it's like inside and kind of the important equipment that's in there. So this is the...
Okay, so when the fire was at this end, came up that corner, and as you can see, none of this has been touched apart from the window's been replaced. So luckily the fire didn't get in here, but it just got to the cablings that came in here, and all the cables have been replaced. And this is where all the CCTV are all operating, and obviously all the switches for the floodlights and everything else are here, and the tannoy was not working, so we wouldn't have been able to put any safety messages or anything like that. So,
and it affected obviously the big screen as well.
Big screen is run from here, and this had no power because the cables had melted. So yeah, it's all. This was fairly lucky, and it was protected.
And considering where
obviously the other thing is because the fire brigade got here and put it out so quickly. If it had gone for another 10 minutes, this would have gone up as well, and then it really would have been.
Yeah.
We'd have had to find another control room from somewhere and crane this one out and put a new one in, which literally would have put the next few months in jeopardy. So we're really lucky with the fire service getting here so quickly and just doing their job, which they're fantastic at doing, and then just once they'd controlled things, calling us in because obviously we wouldn't have known, and then getting stuff open so we can make sure the fire's out. Damping down, I think they call it. And they came back 2 or 3 times during the day and temperature tested various areas on the Thursday as well, and that to make sure everything was out and it didn't have any restarts.
Yep.
So
such a crucial part of a match day, this room, really.
Well, you're not allowed to run a match day without all this stuff and the infrastructure in here. And the other thing is the cost, a huge cost to any club wants to run a football match and play in the football league. You have to have all this stuff, and it has to be functional and working. And I think normally on theirs is about 10 or 12 different cameras which they can pinpoint and go into at any point and any time. If there's anything going on, if there's somebody falls ill in the crowd, they can pinpoint it very quickly and send the stewards directly to it, and so we're not wasting time. So it's all, when everyone walks in the stadium, we keep them safe. It's as simple as that, to the best of our ability, and all this helps all that sort of stuff.
Should we head down to the medical room now as well? I think there's a lot of activity in there at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so here we're going into the medical room, which was very, very badly damaged inside. All the walls have been replaced with plastic cladding. The ceiling's being replaced. You still see the soot on the roof where the flames came in through the window. Completely, all the electrics was destroyed in here, and it's all being replaced. New lighting, and this will probably take the longest to get up and running. Because it was particularly badly damaged, but this will probably be replaced in the summer.
Yeah. I guess it's just getting it functional for match.
Got to get it functional. It'd be impossible to replace it between now and the next game. So we'll get it functional, get it working, and then, hoping, the insurance should look at that favourably, and we hopefully get this replaced in the summer, and then probably replace the top one as well, because this top one's got to come off anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has been damaged in the corner a little bit on the outside. So
and another place that's really important in terms of fan and player safety on a match day as well, and it's where people are taken if there are any incidents, isn't it?
Yeah. So this was. And if you come up here. You can kind of see how hot it got down here, and this was done. The firemen broke entry into here with their cutting gear because they had to establish where the flames were. All the new CCTV cables gone in there, and this was ripped open. And this is the sort of thing that needs to be cut out, and we'll get the Rick Robinson will come in and he'll strip all this out and replace it. Yeah. You can see the black on the window. The window was replaced on Friday.
So it blew out the outside.
Luckily it blew the outer.
Yeah, not the inside.
The outer one, the inner one. If it had gone, the inner one had gone, then I think there would have been a whole different level of devastation in there. So everything did its job. But again, vital minutes. If that had been another 5 minutes of flames, if the window had gone in there, I just dread to think what had happened. We're very lucky that the damage was very, it was a huge amount of damage from a cabling point of view, but the rest of it was amazing, really, that they got it so quick.
I guess we should thank the local community for that, because
the local people raised the alarm straight away. Fire service got it really quickly, and incredible team effort by everybody. Our neighbours, and and the local fire brigade and all the rescue services that attended on the night. And between us, we I say we. I didn't do a lot. All I did was came with a few keys, but
those are important. Though.
But we did. We as a team, we came together. The city community came together and stopped it being a complete disaster. It was a crisis rather than a disaster. And
absolutely.
We hopefully, we'll be lucky only to lose one game.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we've got 2 weeks before for the next game.
I guess while we're out here as well, you've used this time as well to do some work on the pitch. Did you want to talk about that? Yeah.
Obviously, of a lesser extent, but important to my role at the club as the groundsman is never waste a crisis. A famous man once said, and that ringed through my head as we knew the game was going to be called off. We just happened to have our verti-draining tractor in here. By coincidence, not. I kind of hoping I was going to take it out without using it, but also aware that if the game was called off, I knew I wanted to verti-drain the pitch, which we need to do at this time of year, but we can only do it when we've got a 2-week gap or longer. Quite an invasive process, but it's very much resetting the pitch and getting some air and getting the water through it. And I'm feeling quite smug stood here today, having done it last week as soon as we got the opportunity, because we'll be cutting it tomorrow, knowing full well that it's some big holes punched in it. There's no standing water anywhere, even though we've had a fair chunk of rain over the last week, really. So we didn't waste the crisis, and hopefully it will certainly stand us in good stead for going into the Christmas period. Which in the past has caused us a few problems with the weather, and then hopefully after Christmas we'll get another 2-week window and we'll be able to get the verti-drain in here again, late January type thing. So we didn't waste it from a groundsman's point of view. We did as much as we could helping around the clear up, but also did got some holes in the pitch, so that was good.
Brilliant. Should we head into the stand as well? Because obviously there was some damage in there to some important cables.
Yeah, this door here is
missing now.
Had to be destroyed because they couldn't wait, and nor should they have waited. They got themselves in there to start making sure the fire was out in there, which was in the corner, which we can go and have a look at. Okay, so this would have been, it was full of smoke because I stuck my head in because I needed to get to the generator when it turned itself on halfway through the event. And this was full of smoke, so this is incredible, really. There's a lot of clearing up going on in here. There's still more to do to get it ready for a match day. If you can see we've took 3 or 4 pallets like this out of the old cabling, and you can see the size of cables that we had to replace. Massive, great cables, and that's not something you can just buy off a shelf at the local hardware store. And there's the remains of the roller shutter door there. And that's had to be special order. So hopefully that'll be here for the next game. If it isn't, then you won't be able to get in and out that one. But it's a small price to pay.
Absolutely.
Here's the Arc boys. Those 2 doors were ripped off in the fire by the firemen, and rightly so. And they're being completely replaced. We go in the catering unit.
The inside of where we were out.
You can see how close we came to the stadium, but all this is all the fire damage here and that. Incredible that we got away.
Yeah, definitely.
With it being so lightly, because the construction, everything, all this is fire resistant paint.
Yeah.
The place is made of block. There's very little to burn in here. And I think there was a little bit of damage bit of smoke damage to some of the stuff, but hopefully it'll be cleared off, and anything else. So that's all good. And then this is, if we come in here, we can see the smoke damage in here. And all these cables have had to be replaced. they've all been replaced. That's the consumer unit, so that's where the electric comes in, and then the flames came in through here. All the cables were melted here, and you can see here. Look, there's some of the damaged cables, which have all now been replaced. Argos Fire and Security did all that for us, which was great. And these are all the fire cables here being replaced as other ones. So huge amount of work. And this time last week there were 4 or 5 guys in here, all trampling over each other, working away.
Such a small space as well.
It's a tiny space, but it's all been replaced and it's all been future-proofed a little bit as well. You can see the cabin over there where the flames came in through that gap, and came in here. So again, we were really lucky, and I think the cables were burnt. They were moulded to a mass, to about 1.5 metres into here. And they say if the firemen hadn't got in here as quickly as they did, then if this room had gone up completely, trouble, then some of this stuff you just can't buy off a shelf. You'd have to order it, and it could come. So there's your main switch gear
behind you.
All this has been replaced. All the cabling's been replaced to here, and so pretty lucky, really. Obviously unlucky to have the fire, but very lucky that the damage was done, and even lucky to have such fantastic people in Exeter to come to our need, and happy to do so as well. They were right up for,
they've all mucked in straight away.
Everyone mucked in.
I guess we're lucky.
Bit of the old Dunkirk spirit type stuff.
Lucky to have such great sponsors and fans.
Great sponsors, people helping us out. People just phoning up saying, "Can we help? What can we do? Anything we can do?" We often the people came in and just rolled their sleeves up and got on with it. So
it just shows what a big part of the community the club is, I guess, doesn't
it? And what a fantastic community that we have here in Exeter. And to be fair, I'm sure most football clubs would be very similar, or any club, rugby club, football club. We are pretty good, our country, when it comes to getting stuck in and getting things going again, especially with something which means so much to so many people. You're going to come to score a goal and see the big bank at the end of the game to win a game, and you see how passionate everybody is about the football. And that really showed last week with people wanting to come and help.
Absolutely.
Which is fantastic.
I think that's probably the end of where we're at, I think, isn't it? I guess
there's
still work to be done ahead of that Wycombe game, but it is looking very positive.
There's still tidying up to do, and extensive testing. That's the thing next. We've got to test everything, got to make sure, put everything on at the same time, get it all going, and make sure, we're pretty confident the guys were able to, and also once the pressure was off, everyone was able to just go, okay, let's double check everything. And I know they have experience of this sort of thing. They've talked about a hospital job they did recently where there was a fire in a brand new building. There was a fire in a brand new building, and they had to rewire the whole place, and they managed to do that. And so, we were lucky to have contractors that had experience and didn't look at it and go, no way we can do that. They looked at it and said, let's get in there and let's get on with it. So, huge thank you to everybody, all the contractors, all our friends, all the friends of Exeter City Football Club. And to be fair, all the staff as well. Everyone at the staff's mucked in and done everything they can to get us back on the road.
Well, thank you for that, Chaz. Thanks for kind of just showing the extent to everyone, because I guess it's hard to explain really without
I think it's
showing.
important to say how close we got, really, and how much effort went in last week. It was incredible. Say, long days, people turning up before I did even, and I was like, fair play, lads. And that inspired us to really push hard as well. Mildly disappointed that we didn't get a game on, but not devastated, because
for the right reasons.
we can move the game. If it had been snow or something, we'd have had the same thing. We've had to move games before, but and also glad that we didn't mess people around and have teams turn up and say, I'm sorry, we can't do it because we just had a fault, which we didn't know about. So it's all about testing now and getting it sorted.
Brilliant. Thank you, Chaz.
Thank you.